repotting session on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm just going to wait a bit to see if people can hear me properly. Hi, Tiffany Tam on YouTube. Let's see. Hi, Anastasia, Leaf and Paul on Instagram. Great. Just let me know if you can hear me. The reason why I'm like looking sideways is because like I'm looking at all your comments and I'm pretty bad at multitasking. So I'm like trying to look at the camera and look at your comments at the same time. Hey, Brian. Thanks for joining. Happy New Year, Martha. Oh, Tiffany says she can hear me, but it's very low. Let me fix my mic. Hey, Sabby. Happy New Year, Phoebe. Thanks for joining. Oh, you hear me better on Instagram? Okay. Let me just fix the audio on YouTube and then we can get started in a bit. Thanks for joining, Chris and Tom's. Happy New Year's, by the way. Did anyone do anything special? Yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys did for Happy New Year's. Jill, do you hear the sound properly? I can't believe it's like 2023. Is it 2023? Yeah, I can't believe it's 2023 already. We had a pretty chill New Year's. We had some close friends and family over, and we just played a lot of games. There's this really good card game called Exploding Kittens. I think everyone needs to have that in their homes. It's such a fun game. We played until 4 a.m., which is a bit intense. Like, my body can't handle it anymore, but it's like a good 2-hour intense game. 4 a.m. is like too much. I'm like already breaking out from staying up so late. But it was fun. It was a great New Year's. I'm gonna try to talk louder. Oh my god, Phoebe, you were up at 4 a.m. too? I can't do it anymore. Anastasia, you play Exploding Kittens too? I love that game. So we have like the expansion pack, which adds a lot more fun because you can die, but you can like get revived as a zombie kitten. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna fix the audio on YouTube. It's still a little bit low. Jackie, is it good now? Xiao Chen Wang, Happy New Year's on YouTube. Do you hear me properly now? Is it good? Is it good? Yeah, Anastasia, you should definitely get the expansion pack. Great. That's awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to start the New Year's just to come here and chat a bit and just hang out. We can start doing the agenda and like self-intro if everyone's good and you can hear me good. So for everyone who's new to my channel, I'm Fiona from Feline Jungle. I live in New York City. I have 2 cats and like 150 plants, and I love sharing like my plant care tips and plant styling tips. For today's agenda, I'm going to be repotting some plants that I've been neglecting and also answer a lot of your questions. So a few days ago, I put a little, what is it called? A little checkbox to ask if you guys have anything you want to ask me, and I did get a lot of questions, so I'm gonna try to answer all of them. I might have more questions than things I need to repot, but that's okay. Like, we can do this however long we need to. So yeah, Happy New Year, Charmaine. But yeah, so I'm really bad at multitasking. So if I miss any questions, just repeat it. I also have Chucky here helping me. Chucky's helping me with like the camera setup and making sure that I don't like miss any of the questions. Yeah, thanks for joining me on like New Year's Day. Really appreciate it. So, okay, so right now I'm going to start by repotting one of the plants I got last year in 2022. It's my philodendron Prince of Orange. It's one of my favorite plants. This is my second one already. It's in the back over here. You can see it. So it's really big and lush philodendron Prince of Orange. I got it from Daihing, which is a plant shop in Chinatown. So if you ever visit Chinatown, New York City, definitely go there and check out the plants. They always have really good deals. This big plant I got for, I think, $25 in this pot. And they always have like different things. Like this is the first time I've seen them have such a big philodendron Prince of Orange. So I actually got 2 of them. And I gave one away, but I kept one for myself. This is the newest leaf. It's a very easygoing plant. I just give it like indirect light. It's in my north-facing room. I have my grow lights on for 12 hours a day. And I let the soil dry out before I water it. So now it's pretty dry because I usually water it during the weekends and I haven't watered it yet. So it's the perfect time to repot it when the soil is dry. It's just a lot easier to manage. So this is going to be the first plant that we're going to repot together. Before I do that, let me open my plant tarp from Phoebe. Welcome to the jungle home. Using your plant tarp if you're still in the chat. Let me just open this. So, yeah, Phoebe. If you guys want like something to keep your house from getting messy, I would totally invest in this plant tarp. It keeps my table clean when I do any repotting or any plant care stuff. So, I'm just going to open this. I picked out some pots that I want to use ready. I think I'm just going to reuse this terracotta pot I got from IKEA. I think I got it for $5, and it used to be another plant, but I just kept it. One of your questions was, all my pots are clay ones. Is it important? And is there a reason why I use terracotta pots rather than the plastic ones or ceramic? So I know like when you look at my plant wall, all of my plants are in terracotta, and I love terracotta just because I love the aesthetics. I love the warm color and also how it ages. Like it's really cool to see how like a new terracotta pot ages and how the kind of the residue and these white marks gives it character. Besides the aesthetics, I also like the material property. So terracotta is very porous, so it's really good at just absorbing that excess water. So if you're an overwaterer like me and you tend to overwater your plants, terracotta is really good at absorbing that extra moisture. And also it's like less chance of root rot. And I just got started using terracotta, I think was the main reason was because also it's really cheap and affordable. You can find terracotta pots anywhere. So that's why I mainly use terracotta pot. That's other things. There is like cons too. It's pretty heavy and it's not good for plants that actually like the moisture. So if you have a Calathea or something that likes to be in more, or a Maranta that likes more moisture in the soil, I wouldn't recommend terracotta pots. Is there any other terracotta pot lovers in here? Happy New Year! Hi, Corin! So yeah, I hope I answered that question. What else? So yeah, this is why I'm using terracotta pot. So Martha from YouTube asks, I have a Prince of Orange that produces sap on the leaves. Any recommendations, or is it lacking anything? Is that normal? I would check to see how the sap looks like. So philodendrons, they produce sap that's kind of sweet, and it's used to like attract insects that will protect the plant in nature. So I have like a philodendron Florida ghost that also produce saps. Just take a look that it's not any insects or pests biting it. If you don't see any insects, it's completely normal. Like usually you'll see it along the stems. You'll see like a dot, and then you'll see sap coming out of it. Or another thing is when you water philodendrons, they secrete like the extra water through the leaves. So you might see like little dews or morning dews of water kind of collecting over here, and that's completely normal. Phoebe, you're on my YouTube setup. Yeah, Chucky's helping me with the setup. You like the lighting? We just bought this new light to help. Anyways, I'm gonna loosen up the soil a bit. Just check up on the roots. Yeah, I'm just gonna check up on the roots over here. Prune off any dead leaves like this. Overall, the roots look really healthy. Let me see if it fits. So yeah, it fits, and there's excess room. So I'm checking to see that it's not root bound, so I can get like the pot with the same size, and this plant will be fine. And then I also have soil prepared over here. Take out my perlite. I don't really have a mix formula right now because I'm lacking a lot of soil medium, so I'm just using whatever I have in my home. So right now I have this soil, I think it's Fox Farm houseplant soil, and then I just added some perlite for aeration to prevent the soil from compacting. And I'm just gonna mix it because philodendrons like to be in well-draining soil, so I always like to add a little bit more bark or perlite in it. So I'm gonna add this. And make sure it's sitting in properly. I don't know why it took me so long to repot this plant. I've just been very lazy. See, that wasn't so hard. So that's our first plant repotted. My philodendron Prince of Orange. So beautiful. Let me take this out of the way. Okay, so let's see what other questions I have to answer. So another question I asked is, how are you? And what plans for the New Year's are goals? Oh, this is a good question. So I have a very random goal for the new year. I want to get my driver's permit. I know I'm such like a New Yorker. I don't know how to drive yet. And that's like, it's killing me. I need to learn how to drive. And that was my goal for last year, was to at least get my driver's permit. And I was studying for it for the last 3 days. And I'm down to the last 2 chapters. And then I got distracted. So my immediate New Year's goal is to continue studying the driver's manual and then get my driver's permit, and then we'll go from there. But a goal that I have for Feline Jungle is to develop like deeper connections. I was kind of disconnected from social media last year, so I want to have deeper connections, which is why I'm doing this live. And then also just to hang out more with plant people who have the same interests. So recently I've been doing IG lives with my friend Corin from Plant the Studio. We've been doing sales together, and we're also going to be doing plant talks and just talk about plants, answering any questions that you might have. So next Wednesday, we actually have a plant talk coming up, and it's about buying plants online, what to look out for, what's it like if you buy plants in the winter, and just like talk about our experience buying plants online. It'll be pretty interesting, so I hope you can join. I also want to do more like creative projects. So there's a corner in my house that I've been dying to redecorate in my dining room, and I want to just like make it look prettier. I also want to do more art and create more art because I used to draw a lot, and that's one of my goals this year, is to do more like artistic and fun things that I didn't get a chance to do in 2022. Yeah. What else? So I have another plant that I want to repot today. It's this plant. I think I also got this from Daiheng. This is the ZZ plant, but it's not a normal ZZ. It's a Carmelian ZZ plant from Costa, I think. Yeah, Costa Farms. So what's interesting about this plant is that the leaves come out kind of creamy white, and it turns into this normal ZZ plant green color, which is very, very interesting because I have a philodendron Florida Ghost that does the same thing. It turns out, it comes out creamy and then it turns to this green color. So I like plants that kind of change. So I like how this plant does that. Right now it's in the original planter that it came in. I think I got this for $30 from Daiheng. Yeah, and I just want to repot it. There's some dead leaves, and also I think the soil mix is too dense, so I'm seeing some root rot that I kind of want to check up on. Where did I buy the mat become a container? Oh, this is called a plant tarp. This is from Phoebe from Welcome to the Jungle Home. You can visit her website. She also has an Instagram that I can DM you. If you message me, I'll send the link. Yeah, I love this thing. It keeps all the mess inside. Let's see. Thanks for everyone joining on Instagram. Fiesta. Chucky, wave back. Yeah, it's just for everyone who's joining, I'm Fiona from Feline Jungle, and we're just doing a repotting session and answering questions that you guys sent me a few days ago. So let's see what other questions I have. So favorite plant purchase of 2022. Oh, that's an easy one. My favorite plant purchase of 2022 has to be my Monstera Thai constellation that I also got from Daiheng. It was $200. You might see in the back. I know I'm repotting, but I want to show you. For $200, do you see this leaf? It's beautiful. It took a while to like persuade myself to buy it, but I made. It's kind of expensive, but not really, because I think Monstera ties used to be like $1,000 just for cutting. So I thought it was like time to treat myself. Let me see. It is rotting. Oh no. Yeah, this soil mix was too dense. Okay, let's see what we can do about it. So I'm gonna try to bring this closer. This is kind of what root rot looks like. The roots get soggy, and it starts to smell bad. I knew something was wrong because the new shoots were dying. I'm like, something must be wrong. I have to see what's happening. So let's see. Thanks for joining, Harry. Yuna, wow, you're so great. Thank you. You're so great. You're so great for joining me on this live chat on New Year's Day. So I'm just gonna clear off all the rot on this plant and answer some questions on YouTube. I think you missed my question about Calatheas. Chucky, did I miss a question about Calatheas? I have a hate and love relationship with Calatheas. Can you type the question again about the Calatheas and I'll answer it. So let me just clear off the rot. I'm gonna take my shears to cut off all the rot. Let's see. Sabi, go to Daiheng. They'll set you up some good prices for monster tie. Oh, actually no. If you want like a smaller tie, go to Corin from Plant the Studio. She sells tie for like $55. Like that's so cheap. Go to Corin. We're doing a live sale on Wednesday. You can check out her plants. But she only ships nationally, not internationally, domestically in the States. So if you're in the States, go check out our live. Why can't I? So the question from Lamara is why can't I keep Calathea type plants alive? I have a lovely Leopardina that is turning yellow slowly but surely. Oh, so there's a couple reasons why a plant might be yellowing. If you check that there's no root rot, it might be yellowing because I mean, if you check that there's no plants, it might be yellowing because of the root rot, like how my ZZ was. So I would definitely try to just take it out of the pot and check the roots. If the roots are fine, another reason why Calatheas might be turning yellow is because of the humidity level. Because Calatheas like to be in very humid conditions. So I don't know where you live. If you're in a place that's really dry or really cold right now, that can also put a plant in shock. So you can check that. I hope that helps. The only Calathea I can keep alive is my Calathea makoyana, also known as the Calathea peacock plant. It's the most easygoing Calathea, I know. But yeah, if anyone in the comments can also answer why her Calatheas might be dying, go ahead, because I don't have all the answers. I can give suggestions though, based off of my experience killing plants. So Mandy, the place with the small ties is called Plant the Studio. It's a store in Brooklyn, and they do most of their plant sales online on Etsy and also on her website. If you follow me on Instagram, we're doing a live together on Wednesday. Then you can also do like live auctioning and buy her plants there. I highly recommend her plants. Okay, so now I'm just feeling the ZZ for anywhere else that might be soft and soggy. That's how I know it's rotting. Yeah, this is definitely too dense for a ZZ. They like to be in more well-draining soil. I waited too long to repot it. But it's not too late. ZZs are very resilient. Okay, let's see what other questions I have. Most difficult plant to take care of in 2022. So the most difficult plant I have to take care of in 2022 has to be my cuttings. So I wasn't really good at taking care of my plants last year, and cuttings are very fragile and weak, so I have to like monitor them closely. But because I didn't have the time and I was like working in the office full time most of the year, a lot of my cuttings and propagations died, which is why I don't have much cuttings. But yeah, that was the toughest plants to keep alive last year. Do you guys have any difficult plants that was giving you trouble last year? Let's see. So this one's good. I'm feeling the roots. They're all really healthy. It has a nice bulb. This bulb looks, I think it's called a rhizome, and it helps store the water for the ZZ. So which is why you don't have to water them that much, because it stores a lot of water. It comes from like a drought condition. So this one's good. Put this back. Oh, I'm really sad about ZZ. Oh no! This don't look good. I'm gonna put this aside. It looks like soggy and soft, so I'm just gonna put this one aside. I don't know if I can save that one. Calathea rattlesnake. Calathea rattlesnake is also one of my favorites. I just love the pattern. And I also like that it's a pet-friendly plant. So if you have cats that like to get into your plants, I would recommend Calatheas. Oh wait, did you answer me saying that that was like your most difficult plant? Sorry. It's okay, just buy another one in 2023. New year, new you. Just buy another Calathea. Hi David from Montreal. Thanks for joining. Just repotting some plants right now. This is the ZZ Charmeleon, and I just found some root rot, so I'm just trying to take care of it. So what other questions I have? Some plant tips and tricks you've learned this past year when you are overwhelmed with the amount of plants you have. That's a good question. So last year I was overwhelmed with like 100 something plants. It was too much for me to take care of, and also work was getting overwhelming. So my plants definitely did suffer. What helped me during that time was to take care of my plants in sections. So I used to spend the whole weekend just watering plants, repotting them, pruning plants, but it was just like too much chunk of a time, and it stressed me out. It's like, oh, it's another day where I have to take care of all 150 plants, and it was a lot. So what helped me was just sectioning off areas of that I would take care of my plants. So I would take care of like the plant wall on Sunday, and then take care of the plant corner in the dining room on Monday. So it was like less stressful for me. Another tip for when you get overwhelmed with plants, I would say, is to get low maintenance plants. 2020 was a year where I appreciated easygoing plants. Like I didn't need the drama in my life. I liked having like a pothos that I can just water once a month, or like get a cactus that I just have to water once every 2 months. It was a lot less stressful for me doing that. So now when I buy plants, I consider like what's the care level. Instead of just looking at aesthetics, I make sure it's an easy plant that I add into my collection, and it won't add stress to my life. Hope that answered your question. But yeah, if you're overwhelmed, like take care of your mental health first. You can always buy a new plant. Thanks, Online Sun, for buying me a sticker on YouTube. Chucky, appreciate it. And everyone who's joining me on Instagram, hi, my name's Fiona from Feline Jungle. I'm repotting plants right now and answering questions that you guys sent me a few days ago. I just cleared off all the gunk and rotting stuff from my ZZ, so I'm going to repot it in a more well-draining soil mix. So I'm just going to add more perlite in this, so I'll add more aeration, and the roots won't suffocate in the soil. I'm going to do that now. Martha said, plants that give me problems, I throw in the trash. Yes, I ain't got time for that. Yes, I can totally relate. I don't got time for you. Yeah, and if you want it again, just buy it and repeat. Exactly. It's less stressful. It makes planting more fun that way. Okay. Okay, let's see what other questions I have. Another question I have is, if you could only keep one plant you already have, which one would you choose? Damn, that's a tough one. If I could only keep one plant, which one would I choose? I would say my philodendron Florida Beauty, just because I love it so much. It's like everything I ever wanted in a plant. It has really cool shapes, and it has variegation, and it's easy to grow. So I would definitely keep that one if I had to only choose one plant. What about you guys? What plant would you guys choose from your collection if you could only choose one plant? Yeah, I think it's Philodendron Florida Beauty. That's a tough one. Good question. That's like saying, like, if your house was on fire, which plant would you save? Okay. So, I'm also repotting this in terracotta pot because I really like terracotta pots. This is a size up, I think. I think this is like a 5-inch. This might be a 6-inch. But because it's terracotta, now it'll absorb all that excess water, and it'll be less likely for my plant to get root rot again. And I also added more perlite into the soil mix, so then it'll also help it prevent get root rot. Ian Blicky, sorry I'm saying this wrong. Ian asks, how important is humidifiers for philodendrons? I wouldn't say it depends on which philodendron you get, right? If you get like a basic philodendron Brazil or any like trailing philodendrons, not from like the rare ones, it'll be easier. But I definitely do think that humidifiers help philodendrons grow bigger leaves, in my experience. Usually during the winter months in New York when it's like really dry and cold, my philodendrons produce smaller leaves. So yeah, I would say humidifiers affect a little bit of like how big the leaves would get. But I don't think it affects really how fast it grows, in my experience. Yeah. What really makes a difference for my philodendrons, especially the climbing ones, is giving it a climbing support and giving it a moss pole rather than the humidity. Because when you give like a moss pole to a climbing philodendron, it also helps like encourage the arrow roots to grow, and that makes it grow faster in my experience and produce bigger leaves. Do I have an example? Let me see. This one might be a good example. This is the philodendron glorious. It's a cutting that I got from my friend. And before I gave it a moss pole, the leaves were tinier. But once I gave it a moss pole, like this is the newest leaf, and it's already bigger than the last one. So I think giving it a support is more important than giving it humidity, in my experience. But yeah, Happy New Year. I hope that helped. Let me see. Let's see. But if you need like recommendations on humidifiers, right now I'm using the one from Homedic, and I like how sleek it looks. It's just like on the side, it blends in nicely, and it lasts me about a day if you're interested in adding humidifiers, and it helps encourage aerial roots and help my plants grow. They're definitely happier with the humidifier on. Let's see what else I have. Okay, so add a layer. Adding a layer of soil on the base, and then I'm gonna put these ZZ plants back in here. Like this. For everyone who's joining, welcome. Welcome to my live chat and repotting session. I'm just answering any questions that you guys have. So leave them in the comment section and I will answer them. So what other questions I have? I would love to hear more about your work-life balance and how do you keep up with caring for your plants, creating content, having a job, and still making time for a social life. Good question. So yeah, for everyone who's new, I don't do this full time. I also have a full-time job, working a 9 to 5, and creating content because I like it. So how do I balance it? I think the balance is, for me, was knowing what my priorities are and not trying to give 100% on everything, because then you would just burn out. And also recognizing signs of burnout and when to just be easier on yourself and give yourself time to relax. So I used to make YouTube videos on the weekends and then just work at night and then just like work my 9 to 5, and that was a lot of work. But now I just like take time to relax on weekends, take breaks. I think breaks are really important, and also like listen to your body and know when you need to just relax and hang out with your plants and cats. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, yeah, prioritizing was what helped me keep a work-life balance, and then also having a very supportive group of people like my family, and also Chucky, who's like supportive of me creating content and helping me create content, because I wouldn't have been able to create YouTube videos on the weekend if he wanted to like go somewhere and hang out and, you know, have movies. But instead he like supported me doing YouTube videos and helped me make YouTube videos and create content, and we do it together, and it's like fun for both of us. So then it's not really like a work, it's more like just hanging out, and it makes it more fun. I hope that answered your question. Right, Chucky? I can't see the chat. Hold up. Oh, now I see the live chat. I missed it before. So, what did Mandy say? I repot all season. I keep my house warm so my plants are still growing, and I only do it during the day when it's under the grow light for a few hours. Oh yeah, I don't repot just in the spring. I repot because the beauty of like indoor plants is you kind of have them in a controlled environment, so you can just repot whenever. I don't think there's like a set time when you should only repot in the spring. Just make sure your plants have like healthy roots before you repot it. Chucky, did I hit that one? I can't see your... No? Oh, okay. Okay, so this is our plants repotted in a nice terracotta pot. I'll keep you guys updated about the root rot situation, but I think it should be doing a lot better now in this terracotta pot. Let's see what else I have to repot. I have some cuttings. I have some Hoya cuttings that actually survived last year. A lot of my cuttings died, but these Hoya cuttings were survivors. So we will be repotting these Hoya cuttings. I have a Hoya Sunrise. I have a Hoya Numanoides, I think. This is a cutting I got from Phoebe from Welcome to the Jungle Home. The Sunrise, I got this as a plant swap cutting from Plant Corner from Jira. She also has a plant shop in Harlem, so if you're in New York, totally go check out her plant shop. I love her, she's so sweet. And then I also have this Hoya Eskimo. I forgot where I got this from. I might have gotten this from Plant Christie or maybe Plant the Studio. Yeah, Plant the Studio has a lot of Hoyas. So I'm going to be repotting these cuttings. Right now it's in ponds. It's a kind of semi-hydro medium. And yeah. So I can... TYMONY says NYC has so many plant shops. Yeah, that's so true. Like, I'm surprised how many plant shops there are in New York City, considering how it's like a concrete city. There's a lot of plant shops in Williamsburg, in Brooklyn. And there's a lot in Upper Manhattan too. So these are the Hoya cuttings. Really healthy roots. They're super long and just ready to be repotted. Let's see. Jill Parker says, I love Hoyas. What's on everyone's wish list for the New Year's? Yeah, let me know. I love Hoyas, but I realized that I'm not really that good at taking care of them. So I just admire them on Instagram and afar. But I'm gonna still try to keep these Hoya cuttings alive. I have a pot. Let me know what's your wish list plant. I think I'm good. I don't need more plants. That's what I say now. But I know it'll change. Do your Hoya roots look woody? They do. Because I let them dry out. When you let your Hoya dry out more or in a more dry medium, they tend to be more woody, which is also fine, if you can see it. Like this. This is really long. Considering how tiny this cutting is, this is really long root system. So I'm going to repot them in this terracotta pot again. This is from Atrium Design Studio. They sent me some pots a while ago. I used to have a Stephania erecta in here. Now I just repotted it in something else and I kept the pot. So I'm going to be using this. Let's see. So another question I have is how to prop cuttings. For example, strawberry shake, red Anderson, mint, and then Sonii. I recently bought some and put them in perlite and they either rotted or the leaves turned yellow. Oh, okay. How to prop cuttings. So it sounds like most of the plants you bought are philodendrons and monsteras. In my experience, water propagation works the best for philodendrons and monsteras. I've tried perlite before, but I didn't have really good experience with that. Let me know if anyone has other experience with perlite, but I would recommend putting it in water. Yeah. Put it in water and then transition it to a semi-hydro medium, so then it helps the plant acclimate from the water roots to the soil roots. So I think it's important to understand there's like a difference between water roots and soil roots. Water roots are more fragile. They're thinner because it's easier for them to just absorb the nutrients and the oxygen from the water, whereas soil roots are more hardier and they're more thicker. And usually if you just like have water roots and you repot it in soil, it'll die immediately because of like the shock. It needs to like acclimate. So I like to like transition it in semi-hydro using ponds, which is what I did for the Hoyas. These Hoyas were in water before, and then I did like a semi-hydro medium to transition it into more hardy and more woody roots, and then pot it in soil. So yeah, the extra step of the semi-hydro really helps. And then for anthuriums, I would say moss propagation is the best for cuttings, in my experience. So one of the questions I have is how to repot water props in soil and not have them disintegrate. Yeah, definitely like try doing the transition into semi-hydro using leca or ponds before you put it in soil. That will help a lot. Ooh, I see some wish list plants for 2023. Lamara says philodendron summer glory. Oh, that sounds fancy. I need to check out what that is. Maybe that'll be on my wish list too. Joe says Lacunosa snowcaps. I didn't know there were so many different Lacunosas. I have a Lacunosa royal flush. I never heard of the snowcaps, but I definitely will have to check that out. The golden dragon. Yeah, philodendron golden dragon is also one of my favorites. I have one in the back. Over there. Do you see it? Oh, you see it? This is philodendron golden dragon that I imported probably 2 years ago in 2020. And it was imported with only 2 leaves. Was this I think I cut this and gave half of it to my friend Caesar. But super easy growing plant. So let me know. I'll make a cutting out of this too. It's growing so much. If you're in the city, I can give you a cutting. Sabby says air layering is also good for props. Yes, I recommend air layering when possible. It just decreases it increases your chance of success because then you've already encouraged the plant to grow aerial roots. So when you cut it, it already has a root system, so it's less likely to die of root rot or not root at all. For anyone who doesn't know what's air layering, you basically find nodes on a plant where roots will grow out of, and you put moss on it, and you kind of wrap it in plastic. And when you put moss, the moisture encourages the aerial roots to grow, so they'll kind of grow out like this. And then you have like a really healthy root, so that when you cut it, you have 2 plant cuttings, one who's already have established roots, and then a top cutting that has roots already developed. So it'll be less likely for the plant to die. Okay. Let's see. Martha says, on my wish list is a pot of Trimillion ZZ, like a 20-inch one. I'm going to buy 6 and 8 Costa Farms and pot them up and put it outside and let Mother Nature do its thing. Yes, do that. I totally support you. I love ZZ plants. I have the ZZ Raven, and I also have the ZZ Zenzi, which is like a dwarf version of the regular ZZ. I have them in the back over here. They're such easy going plants. I love them. Elsa says she has the begonia maculata on her wish list. That's also a really cool plant. I love like the polka dots on it. It has a very funky pattern. I got a cutting of that once from my friend, and unfortunately it also died last year. Sorry if you're watching this. I will definitely need to buy a full plant of that begonia. So for everyone who's joining me right now, I'm repotting plants and answering any of your questions. So let me know in the comment section and I will answer them. So let me see what other questions I have. What's the most I've ever spent on a plant? Oh, that's a good question. I don't like to spend that much on my plants. I tend to think about like, isn't it very, do I love it? Is it necessary before I buy it? And I would say the most I've ever spent on a plant was probably the $200 Monstera Thai. Yeah, right? No? You don't think so, Chucky? The Florida Beauty? Which one? The Anthurium Queen? Well, how much was that? Wasn't that around? Oh, 230? Just say it. 280? No. No. Wait, that Anthurium Queen, I think I spent maybe 250 on it. I remember now. Was it for my graduation gift to myself? Yeah? Yeah, the most I've ever spent on a plant. Oh my god, now I'm mad when I think about it. Was a baby Anthurium Queen. I think it's called Waka. I can't say it, but Anthurium Queen. And I bought a tiny one, 2-leaf, for 250, and I think it died. It did. I bought it for myself for graduation, cause I remember now. Yeah, biggest regret ever. I completely forgot about that, Chucky. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, the most I ever spent was 250 on a plant, and it was for my graduation, so I thought it was like appropriate. But never again. I don't think I'll spend that much on a plant anymore. How much did you guys ever spend on a plant? Let me know. Where did you get your amber looking watering jug in the background hanging? Oh, that's from Amazon. I can give you the link. I think I have it on the link in my description. So on my Amazon store, I link like all the products I've ever used on it. I think it's under general plant care. I think it's $7. It's really cheap, but I love how it looks. And it comes in different colors too if you don't like amber. If you can't find it, just DM me. Message me and I'll send you the link. The username is you gullible fuck. It says he doesn't have, or she or he doesn't have a wish list plant, but they like the philodendron bobsy. Ooh, I've never heard of that. I have to look that up. Prehistoric. Yeah, I like prehistoric looking plants. I also like the philodendron crocodile is another funky one. It has like really like kind of seesaw shaped leaves. I think you might like that one. Charmaine says her Monstera Thai constellation is the most expensive one. Yeah, Thai constellations are getting expensive, but the price are getting lower, so you can wait for the price to get lower and buy another one. Let's see. There was a plant that I bought for $300. The philodendron Florida Beauty. But I had to think about it for a long time before I was like, do I really need this? And I convinced my friend Caesar to split it with me. So we would buy it together, and then I would grow it until it's like a good size and give him half of the plant. That way I split the cost, so it was only $150. I feel like that's like a smart tip if you want to spend less money on plants, is convince another friend to split the cost with you. Which question?
Have you always been interested in plants?
So Chunky said I missed the question, which is, have I always been interested in plants? No, I haven't. I wasn't always interested in plants. I used to have a black thumb. And people in school can confirm that. When I got interested in plants when I studied in architecture school, I did a green wall design class, which basically integrated like nature into interior and like the built environment. And in that class, we had to make like a mock-up and like make a green wall using live plants. And that's when I got interested in like the all the good benefits of having plants. I actually killed the plant in my project, and my teammates will remember that. So when they see that I have like an account called Feline Jungle, they're like, didn't you used to kill all the plants in school? But I'm like, yeah, I learned from my mistakes. And from that class, I just started adding more plants into my collection. And when I moved out of my parents and had my own place, I just filled it up with plants. So I got interested in plants at a very late age. Yeah. Why are you laughing, Chucky? Chucky was actually one of my partners for that project. I think we used a spider plant or a ZZ plant, right? It was a ZZ plant. Yeah, we kept it alive just for the project. And then after the presentation was over, I remember going back to school and it was dead. And I was like, oh no, now I have to buy more plants. Yeah, that's how I got started into plants. Very funny story. Okay. So I just repotted my Hoya cuttings in this tiny planter. Hoyas like to be in a smaller container. They like to be a little bit root bound. So I'm just going to keep it in a small container. I'll also reduce the chance of root rot. So here's little Hoya. Pot it in this cute pot with gemstones on it. Someone said I still have a black thumb now. Every now and then, and my plants aren't doing so well. Yeah, same here. It's okay. We'll get through it. You just learn from your mistakes and then buy more plants. Let's see. So that's all the plants I have to repot today. I thought I had more, but that's it. Do you guys have any more questions? It was nice hanging out with you guys. Thanks for all the questions and telling me all your goals and wish lists. Let me see if I have any more questions. So how do you pair plants with pots? Oh, that's a good question. Usually, so the question is, how do I pair the right planter to the right pot? Most of the time, I just kind of just look at the plants and look at the unique characteristics of the plant and try to pick up a planter that will complement it and kind of balance it. So for example, my philodendron strawberry shake has these pink leaves. So I would pair it with planters that have kind of pink elements in it. So it kind of complements each other. I also look at like the shape of the planter and where it's being placed, and then figure out what's like a good plant that's that's perfect for that pot. And the first one I could think of is my Hoya Hindu rope, which is in this vase planter. So this pot is from Planta Planta. They have a Etsy store. You can always message them on Instagram, and they sell these very funky face planters. So when I was thinking about how to pair the plant for it, I was just looking at how long his forehead is, and then I'm also thinking like it's gonna be on this plant shelf. So do I want to put a plant that will grow vertically and eventually grow out of the plant shelf, or get a trailing plant that kind of looks like hair and kind of balances out the big forehead, if that makes sense? So I try to find a balance between like the plant and the pot and just find something that complements them. And you can always switch out the planter. Like you don't have to stick with the same planter. You can put it in here and then decide like, oh, it doesn't look good, and then you just buy another planter. So yeah, that's how I paired the plants with the pots. Thank you for that question. That was a really nice question. Thanks, Martha. Thank you. Appreciate it. I also have question, any specific plant goals for 2023? I think it would be doing more plant projects and more plant interior spaces. So I have a plant corner in my house that I want to redecorate. So I want to do that. I want to also design more plant styling stuff. So I've had a couple clients that reach out to like plant style their place. So that's very exciting because then that like it helps me like do more plant stuff and then interior design stuff. So I really like that. I don't know. Do you guys have any plant specific goals for 2023? And also I want to like don't buy that many plants. Just stick with what I have. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have any more questions? Okay, so I think that's all the questions I have. Let me double check if I missed anything. How to do that? Online Sun asks, will I do more lives? Yeah, I'm gonna do more lives. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. I want to, do more lives and interact with you more. That's one of my goals for 2023. So I'm doing bi-weekly plant talks. I'll have a like 30-minute plant talk session, and we'll have a topic, and we'll just like talk about it. So for this coming Wednesday on January 4th, I have a plant talk session with Corin, and we're going to talk about buying plants online and just talk about our experience in terms of importing plants, how to care for plants after you receive them, and things like that. So I think that will be a very exciting topic to talk about, especially now we buy a lot of the plants online. So yeah, join us. I think it's going to be at 6:30 Eastern time, because that's when we both end work. Yeah, I'm going to end work and then go to our plant shop in Brooklyn. We're going to do the live together, talk about some plant stuff, and then I'm going to help her out with her live plant sale, which is always very exciting. So I hope you can make it. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me on this repotting session. Let me know if you have any more questions, and we can talk about it in the next live session. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy New Year! Bye.